a year after their split, Demi Lovato says that breaking up with their ex-fiance Max Eric was the best thing that could have happened to them. Let's get into it. Demi Lovato spoke with Kate Sozin of the 19th Represent Summit for their virtual event earlier this week. During the conversation, Demi spoke about the journey of self-discovery that led them to coming out as non-binary in May of this year. Demi said living through the pandemic was a big factor in this journey because it was March 2020 when they were, quote, starting to identify as non-binary. Demi continued on saying, "Then I met someone and I got into this straight relationship, and that was great. But that led me to ignoring all the parts of myself that I didn't think were digestible for my partner at the time, who ended up becoming my fiance. In hindsight, the dissolvement of that relationship was actually probably the best thing that's happened to me because of what that led inside of myself." As fans recall, Demi and Max got engaged in July 2020, but parted ways just months later in September. After calling off the engagement, Demi was empowered to, quote, stand on my own 2 feet without needing someone else to validate me or to make me feel accepted. They explained, quote, when I said goodbye to that relationship, I also said goodbye to everything that was holding me back from being my most authentic self. And that's when Demi, quote, really started to identify as non-binary with close friends and family. They said, quote, it was the dissolvement of all things that had held me back from identifying as the person I do today. Demi also explained that this journey of self-discovery will likely continue for the rest of their life, and while they identify as non-binary now, they are still learning and growing. Demi said, there might be a time where I identify as trans. I don't know what this looks like for me. There might be a time where I identify as non-binary and gender non-conforming my entire life. Or maybe there's a period of time when I get older that I identify as a woman. Demi said that while they don't know what the future holds, quote, in this moment right now, this is how I identify. And I have a feeling that it's not going to ever go back to one way or the other. It's about keeping it open and free, and I'm a very fluid person. We are so happy that Demi is living their truth, and this isn't the only interview Demi has done recently. Demi went from interviewee to interviewer and had YouTuber Bretman Rock as a guest on the latest episode of their podcast, 4D with Demi Lovato. The two connected about spirituality, identifying as non-binary, and their connection to their grandmothers.
My great-grandmother was more in my life when I was younger, and so I have her tatted on my arm.
Oh
right
my God,
here.
is this a Leo thing? Because I have my grandma, like something for my grandma's on my arm too. And I have a Leo.
Oh my God!
Demi also praised Bretman for being brave enough to wear makeup and embrace gender fluidity as early as high school because they, quote, didn't really have the courage until much later in life.
And so anytime I'm able to see younger people really embrace themselves, it's just like, it fills a warm spot in my heart that's like, oh, the work that we do is changing things.
Bretman agreed, saying, quote, when I was 16, I didn't think I was like making a statement or really doing any type of like movement until now that I'm 23, I'm seeing the kids that watched me grow up like kind of like embody Bretman Rock. We know how encouraging it is for so many people to see celebs like Demi and Bretman embrace who they are so proudly. For more on Demi and Max's split, click right over here for another clever news video. Then hop to the comments and let me know what you think about all of this. As always, I'm your host, Renee Ariel. You can follow me on socials at Renee Ariel, and I'll see you next time.